Welcome to the Nevcast, where three bros talk business, art, justice, and the pursuit of Jesus.
Any day above ground is a good day.
Get ready to laugh, cry, and kiss 30 minutes goodbye with Peter Nevland,
Dave Nevland,
and
Rashid.
Yeah. Hey, here we are. We're on the Nevcast.
Hey.
We're going to
Hey.
talk about the way that radio waves work and the way that signals, Wi-Fi signals, get transmitted. But are we on Google Fiber? That's different. That's light through a pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even go in a straight line. They bounce all over the place in the pipe, but they go fast.
I think I'm on the wrong podcast.
I think so too.
I don't
Oh,
know.
hey, wait.
There's some dude over here that you've never seen before.
Here we are. It's the Nevcast. It's Dave Nevland, Peter Nevland, and you're not Rashid. That's Bess.
Hi.
Bess Popplewell.
Hi.
Hi.
You've never met my
Hi,
brother,
Dave.
have you?
Hi.
No, I haven't. No, hi.
Now,
How are you
Bess,
guys doing?
fantastic. How are you?
Great.
Do we look
I'm
like
all
brothers?
right, thanks.
Yeah, does he?
No.
He looks like my brother, doesn't he?
I look like your dad.
That's right. Well, that's
no,
because
no.
I
Wouldn't say
haven't.
that.
I haven't grown out my beard. My beard would be gray like yours if I grew it out now.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
my
I
hair's
think
not
you look
as
quite different.
my hair's not as red anymore, huh?
I dare you
yeah,
to do
and
it
we look
sometime.
different, but we're from the same parents and everything.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Just like real brothers.
Like
I
just
know.
like
It's crazy,
just like.
just like yeah, right.
All right.
Anyway, so
It's your guest. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
so
know.
so Bess, no,
I'm
so
gonna ask a bunch of stupid
nobody
questions.
knows about you, but I know about you. So you are
How'd you get to England?
you're a singer.
Oh, okay.
You are also a businesswoman. You are also, probably most importantly, you are a wife and a mother of, is it 2 children, right?
2 children,
2
yeah.
children, right? And their names again, goodness, I'm blanking.
Alfwin.
Yeah, Elfwin, that's right. But it's not Elfwin, it's Elfwin. It's
Oh,
like
it's
the AE.
The A
Alfwin.
thing together that we can't.
Elfwin.
You can't type it
Good
on a
remembering.
keyboard.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't show up on a typewriter.
Yeah.
Yes, and then your
Yeah.
That's
son,
like Elon Musk. Something
and
he would
he's
do.
got an adorable name.
Yeah.
That's right, Elon Musk. My scent speaks for me. Sorry, Elon Musk. You know,
I.
right? You get it? I. Anyway, and then your son, he's got an adorable name, and I can't remember what that is offhand either. It's gonna
Amos.
Amos.
Loxley Popplewell.
yes, Amos.
Amos.
Amos, but it's not Amos. It's Amos.
Okay.
Amos.
Even though there's not 2 S's, it sounds like Amos.
It's AMOS.
Amos.
It's AMOS.
It's AMOS.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All his life, if he comes to the United States, they're just going to call him Amos, and he's going to have to correct him the whole time, all over again.
Right.
Amos. No, I'm not
Right,
Amos.
it's
I'm
fine.
Amos. Okay.
You can do that.
All right.
It works.
Is it really
good.
pronounced differently over there?
Yeah, we
Amos?
say Amos.
Amos. It's kind of
Amos.
yeah.
We're all relaxed. We're not proper even with our speech.
You know what? This reminds me.
And besides, before you get to your story, I'm going to cut you off because we're still talking about Bess. Bess is in England.
yes.
That's why she sounds a little different. And she's also from this amazing city named Sheffield. Is that where you still are? Or have you moved?
We are still in Sheffield. No, we're still in the same house.
British
Yeah,
Steel
yeah.
from Sheffield.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
home of the gentleman, home of Philippa Hanna,
Okay.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
home of Bess Popplewell and Tom Popplewell, her husband.
And Tom, who's currently still working, he would have popped his head on to say hello otherwise.
Yeah, but then we'd find out
Yeah.
he's smarter than like all 4 of us put together. And
He's just not allowed to join in, right?
yeah, I mean, goodness gracious. Like every time I talk to Tom, I'm always like, wow, you just keep
Yeah.
talking, man. You are smart.
How did you meet these people?
You're not the.
Oh.
Good question.
Ooh.
How did we meet?
Okay, the first time I ever met Bess, the first time ever I saw your face. That's weird.
That song gets real deep. You
It
gotta
does
watch
get
out.
real
It's
deep
just-
too fast. That's I'm stopping it right
don't-
there.
yeah.
It was in a tent at Soul Survivor
Right.
Music Festival or
Okay.
Christian music festival thing, but it was in a tent with you, Bess, and with Nicholas Noble, and with Philippa Hanna, and with what's her name? That used to be Nicholas and your roommate,
Steph?
Steph, and with Steph, weren't you in that? I think wasn't that where it was?
I'm not sure it
Were
was.
you?
No,
Maybe
but,
you weren't in the tent.
I'll go with that story.
Maybe it was after when I came back to Sheffield, and Nicholas put on a show for us to play for, and then you came to that first show in Sheffield at that tiny little, what was it, open house coffee shop?
Yes.
And that place is no longer there, but I mean, there were all of like 7 people there.
That's a whole other story. Open house is still there.
It's still there.
Huh.
On the same corner.
It's like almost 20 years ago.
That's a whole other God story for another time.
Yeah, that's incredible. So
it's
anyway,
like 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah, and then Bess.
What, were you like 5 or something? How do you?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Good one, Dave. All right.
You can be my friend.
See?
That's right. Yeah, you really, I'm serious. To me, you look the same as when I met you. That was back in 2006. That was 2006. So it was 16 years ago.
Oh, wow.
To me, you look exactly the same.
I am actually more grey now.
You're getting grey.
Thanks.
Zoom has been kind to you.
I don't mind. I'm quite excited about that.
Oh, yeah? Why are you excited about it? Most women probably wouldn't be.
Just like, to me, like, getting older is not scary. It's kind of a privilege to get older.
That's true.
See, you are not the typical English person because, Bess, it's like every time I've ever talked to you, you're always like, you've got this positive, sunny outlook on things, and you're just like, oh, but that's not bad. You know, it's like, it's actually really good, and here's why. And I'm like, yeah, now I feel better. Like, you know,
there's something like, typical about that for English people.
That's not English people. They're like,
going to keep pressing on. And
English people are like, they complain about it. Bess doesn't complain.
Aye.
Maybe you just don't hear what I complain about.
She's not a whinger.
All right.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Ask Tom that same question, see if he agrees.
Well, you know. That's how marriage works, isn't it? We don't have to tell everybody all our secrets.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's how you met.
So that's how I met Bess. And then Bess has, like, when Vicky and I have gone over to England again to tour and stuff, she's graciously hosted us. And then Vicky and Bess have become friends, and they're probably better friends than I ever was with her. And I
want to go to England and tour.
Stuff. I know, you should.
Take a band over
They're
there.
amazing people.
Take my band over there.
You'd be very welcome.
Yeah.
You're very hospitable.
That's right. They would
sing
love
lots
you.
of old music.
That's okay, but you make it new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't feel insecure. They would like you.
Europeans like spirituals.
You know, when we first came to England, I wasn't sure that anybody would hear us or like us or anything like that. And Dave said to me before we left, Dave said, "Oh, they're going to love you. They're going to really like you, Peter."
And they did.
And they did. It was pretty
wild. I'm glad you remember. I don't remember saying that. That's cool.
I know. You never remember all the good stuff you say. That's my job. Yeah, I remember it for you.
He's got a great memory.
For Tom better still has or for worse. Spoken Groove t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Tom's the Spoken Groove t-shirt.
I got him, too.
Yeah.
Well, someday it'll come back.
It's amazing they still fit us. That's the bigger deal. So whether they fit us or not.
I know it's going to come back again because I've been hanging out with the Flob Gob again.
Aye.
He was standing on the corner of 5th and Cherry Avenue looking so
frabber,
so blinkish-lack that I saw no harm in schlumpling on over to his Jekyll Junk and Orpsing in. Right.
All right.
Exactly. Anyway, Bess, let's talk about you. We can do this all day. But so you're in Sheffield, you get married.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first met you, you weren't married, but then you married Tom. And I thought, this is a good match. This guy seems like he really loves her. And if some guy doesn't love Bess, well, then he's a complete idiot and a moron. And Tom is not. He's smart because
and
Bess,
you were happy for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she's wonderful. She's a wonderful person. She's really
trying to read between the lines here from this meeting back then.
She's really fun. It wasn't ever like that. No.
I was happy for him. Her.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of wonderful people in the world, and Bess is one of those wonderful people.
Great. Cool. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So they get married, and I think I was there. I think I was at your wedding. Did I come to your wedding?
You weren't at our wedding.
No? I just heard about it. No, that was a different wedding that I came to. I remember that was Andy Baker's. Andy and...
I was going to say, you came to Andy's, I'm sure.
You were there. You guys were in his wedding party. Or you were there for the wedding. Maybe I just sat with you at the wedding. I remember seeing you when I came to that wedding. Yeah, my memory's awesome.
I can't really remember.
I remember
That's quite
seeing
a
you
long
and
time
Tom.
ago. Maybe I was.
Yeah, and I remember
not
riding
sure.
in the car with you guys actually on the way back from the reception while it was raining, as it rarely does in England.
Rarely.
Yeah.
Rarely rains.
Rarely. It's
Yeah.
not been raining at all today.
Oh,
Rain falls mainly on the plains.
that's in
That's in
Spain. Anyway, so you married Tom, and then you had Elfwin, which she is like, it's no surprise. She's super, super smart, right? She is precocious. She is full of life, and
Yeah.
I imagine she's probably what? She's going to college now or something like that almost.
Not quite.
High school?
She's going to be 10 in February.
Wow, 10. Okay.
10. Right,
Yeah,
so she's
10 in
probably not, is she
February.
still watching Peppa Pig?
No.
No.
Although if Amos is watching it, she'll probably sit there with him. But no, not out of choice.
Yes,
She's
right.
currently discovered YouTube.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she
we're at
knows
that stage in life now.
her vocabulary is just amazing. Like,
I think she'll be a writer one day.
yeah, wow, that's cool. That's exciting. Well, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
She's a speaker
She's-
now. She'll be a
she's got
writer
it.
then.
Yeah. And so,
She's
and then,
got an amazing imagination, and she's very articulate. So
yes.
if she doesn't write something at some point, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah.
She's very
Well, and so then you started a band, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
function band, which was a very smart thing to do because you could
function
make
band?
money as a function band. That means that you play for like
Oh,
weddings
functions.
and
Ah.
parties. You play covers of cool
you
music.
play covers, and people pay you to sing other people's songs.
Yeah.
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 And you actually make more money singing covers of other people's songs than you would make just writing your own stuff,
yeah,
unless
yeah.
you're like Elton John.
Yeah. That's why the people that only do their own songs say the people that do the other things are sellouts.
Because they're
Because
jealous.
they do sell out.
No, because they're jealous.
I mean,
That's really,
they sell. They make money. They sell out the places where they.
but in the good way. Like it's just a
Right, I know.
smart decision. Like
Yeah.
because somebody's got to support their family and
yeah.
pay the rent and
Yeah.
stuff, and not live on other people's couches. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So you did that,
It's,
and then all of a sudden, you had another child,
Oh right.
and there was
That
a big
changed everything.
surprise. Yeah. So tell
Yeah.
us about that. Tell us about how that changed everything when Amos came around.
Okay.
A baby changes
So
everything.
yes. When after I had Alfred, that's when I started all the function band, and every year we kind of would build up and get more gigs, more weddings, and music's always been something part of me.
Yeah.
I didn't really know how that looked, and I'd had lots of words about it, but I didn't really know how that was working. So it was the start of the band mainly because I was like, I want to sing, and I don't know how to do it. So if I just start a band, maybe I'll figure it out.
Nice. That's a
so-
That's a fantastic way to start anything.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was very blessed with some amazing musicians who made that job incredibly easy for me. And kind of the year that I was pregnant with Amos was probably my busiest year. Still probably not as busy as many function bands, I'm sure.
Right.
And then I had Amos, and 4 days after his birth, we had it confirmed that he has Down syndrome, and which was a surprise.
Yeah.
It was a lovely surprise. We had we didn't know anything about it. It was a condition that we were very ignorant about. Couldn't name anybody that had it. Didn't know anyone that knew anyone. And it was like our world had been blown, I wouldn't say apart, I would say open, wide open. We had one evening where Tom and I were just like, what does this mean? And I think when you're in that situation, and I'm not the only one because I've spoken to families since this,
Yeah.
but when you kind of get that diagnosis as a surprise, your brain automatically goes 20 years down the line and you start thinking, but will he ever ride a bike? Will he ever go to college? Will he ever move out? And actually, God sat with us one evening and just, and through Tom, just said, hang on a minute. This is ridiculous. Why on earth would we do this with our son? We didn't do this with Alfred when she was born. Just because he's got an extra chromosome doesn't mean that he won't be able to do some stuff. And actually, for one evening in hospital was the evening where we kind of grieved.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say that it did only last one evening. I know many people where they're still grieving years on with the diagnosis. But we're very blessed with an amazing support network, church family, friends.
Yeah.
Where we had one evening where we went to bed feeling a bit, I don't know what it looks like. And we woke up the next morning just feeling like, whoa, what does life look like now?
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's almost like that extra chromosome is, people are fearful of it because they don't know what it means. They don't know what comes with it. And without God just saying, I'm giving you a heads up. Like, these are the things to look out for. These are the things to monitor. These are the things to check, like health complications and learning styles and progress and the way that he does things. And that's more information that any other baby would get. And we just felt totally overwhelmed that we'd been given this like heads up. It's like, here you go, here's what to expect a bit. Whereas with Alfred, we were like new parents going,
right.
What? What do we do with this? So, you know, and Amos was our second child, so we had experienced parenthood beforehand. But having Amos and being thrown into a whole new world, a community of families who all share that extra chromosome, has been one of the biggest blessings in our family. And I would not change him for the world. I would not wish it away.
Oh,
in fact,
that's so sweet.
I'm always a little bit sad when my friends who are having babies saying, oh, and I'm like, we don't know. Because I'm just like, it's almost like this, he's magic. He's just magic. And I just think it's wonderful.
Can you tell us? Oh, what? Okay, did I cut you off? Were you going to say something else?
No.
Okay, tell us when you say he's magic. Can you give us like a little like scene or something, you know, of what makes him magic? What is so special about this? Because I think everybody's got preconceptions, but you know, people need to hear the real story. People need to hear the truth.
Amos, from day one, has been someone who has taught us more in his time with us than parents, friends. Like, God has spoken to us through Amos in the sense of the way that we do life, the pace of life, our priorities. We would have friends just come round and sit with Amos for half an hour if they had a bad day, and they'd go away going, like his presence alone is just something that is very, he's just got a connection with God, and I can tell, because like you come away feeling refreshed from being with someone who doesn't have what the world puts on you. Like, when you get to a point in life, you can see how you're influenced by your outside, by your surroundings. Yeah. And Amos has this beautiful ability to laugh at nothing and everything. He will sarcastically join in with a giggle when you think that he doesn't understand. Well, I don't think he does understand, but he just breaks the tension in a room. He gives the best hugs when you're feeling a bit like, I've been really stressed out, and he knows. It's like a sixth sense, and it's almost like God gave me Amos to learn so much more about God. And you know, I believe that we're all made in the image of God, and Amos is very much so that. Not to say that he is more so than anyone else, but there is something that Amos oozes that is very godly and
that's amazing.
Magic.
It sounds like he's like, would you say he has an impenetrable positivity about him?
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say that he doesn't have his moments. I'll be honest. Like he is still a 5-year-old little boy. But there is just something that he has a joy that other kids don't have.
Right.
That I can't explain.
You know, now, am I wrong? Every person from the time I was a kid and met kids with Down syndrome, almost every one of them is more joyful that I've been involved than the rest of the kids. Is that now? I mean, is that true? Is that true about almost all of them?
This community.
I've
that
only
you know.
known kids with Down syndrome inside the church, though. I think. I think. I mean, personally. But
I don't know. There's a big myth. Like, it is said, "Oh, aren't all people with Down syndrome really happy?" And I'm like,
okay, I didn't. Yeah, I've never heard.
Oh yeah. And I wouldn't say necessarily that they're always happy. I mean, earlier on today, Amos and I had a little to do, but there is definitely something about his presence and the way that he sees the world that is incredibly joyful.
Yeah.
Even just the way he kind of looks at you at bedtime when he says goodnight, it's just something else.
Can I have this idea in my head, and you can tell me this might be totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But what if is Amos possibly Amos and possibly other children with Down syndrome, are they a less filtered reflection of the caregivers who are in their lives?
Oh.
Well, that's what I said about the impenetrable positivity. Is like, I can feel that coming from her.
Well, I know that's the thing. I know that's what you were getting at. But okay, so for instance, now granted this is only a movie, but you seen the movie The Peanut Butter Falcon? Did you see that movie?
Oh,
so good, right? So good.
So good.
And you saw the guy that was in there. He had an optimism and a hope, but he didn't necessarily always have joy. There were times when he was really down, and I felt like his acting was incredible, because talk about being in the moment. He was able to be connected in a way that I think that maybe it's probably hard for somebody who doesn't have Downs to be connected, but there's something of a less filtered aspect to someone with Downs. And I just wonder, like, hearing your story and other parents and stuff, would you say that it's kind of like they're a less filtered, more accurate reflection of the way that they have been treated growing up by, or the people who have, it's most of the time their parents. In your case, definitely, because I mean, you just, Bess, ever since I've met you, you have bubbled with this positive, joyful attitude, and you're gracious in the way that you welcome us, the way that you just immediately loved my wife, loved Vicky, and connected with her, and the way that y'all have been friends.
You could have loved Vicky.
Well, I know, but I agree. But at the same time, I mean, Vicky doesn't talk about everybody exactly the same, and she absolutely adores you. Like, you are definitely this amazing amount of sun in her life, right? And I just wonder, I think that Amos probably gets that from you and Tom. You both are incredibly positive people in different ways. You're like the emotional side, and he's the intellectual side of joy. And you add those together, and you get Amos.
I feel like I'm in therapy. This is amazing.
Oh, I'm not meaning to put you in therapy. I'm just saying what I see.
That's lovely.
Is that somewhat accurate?
I definitely think that from the kids that I know, there's definitely less filters, and what you see is what you get. And maybe that is how it works when you're reflecting the influences that make you who you are. Yeah, I mean, there's some validity in that for sure.
That's just so.
I don't know. That's a good thought. I've not thought about that before.
Well, and I think this other thing that you said that I thought just kind of blew me away and made me think of my own children. So we've had 2 boys. We have Kaz and Pax. And then Goldie came along 5.5 months ago. And when I held Goldie, it sounded like what you just said with Amos. Like, I held Goldie and I could feel, not in my hands, but I could just feel, I don't know if it's my emotions or my spirit, probably both. I was like, this is a little girl. This is different than those 2 boys. It's just like I could feel the femininity from her. And she's so joyful. She's so full of life. Like, she just has ways to lift my spirit. The boys do too, but it's different. They just have a different way of lifting my spirits than the way that she does. And I can tell that she is a girl, that she is a female. Like, there's something inherently different about her makeup than about the boys' makeup. And what you said about Amos was like that. It was like the second that you held him, you could feel the gift that he was to you. There's something different than what Elfwin was, partly because he's a boy and then partly because he's Amos and he has an extra chromosome. He doesn't have less. He has something more.
He's got more.
Right?
Yeah.
And because it's so more, sometimes it makes him hard to, makes it hard to do some of the other more rudimentary things or whatever. But all the other stuff, it's like the fact that people just come and sit with him and just feel better. And he just knows how to give you a hug. And when he gives it to you, it's like all the muscles are engaged. Like there's no holds barred, right?
Yeah.
Both in his arms and in his heart. And
yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Strong grip with your hair? Yeah, absolutely.
A strong grip? He grips your hair too?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He just gets overexcited. But yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because I have found that, so because I do lots of different things and I don't have one career, and which, sometimes we're encouraged to do, and I'm just, I can't stick to one thing.
Okay, you're like
and
Vicky.
It was only when I was it was only when I was talking to someone, so I went into our local hospital to talk about life with Amos to some local midwives and consultants and stuff, and so telling them about how he's in a mainstream kindergarten and preschool. And it was amazing to see how out of date their information about Down syndrome, living with Down syndrome is. Like, they were working from a 30-year-old textbook where they were like, and so they're like, he's in mainstream school. And I was like, yeah, I mean, where did you think he'd go? Like, we definitely don't have institutions anymore, but that's what used to happen 30 years ago. And so when I had that moment of kind of telling this room full of professionals about life with my son, I felt God very much saying, this is your mastermind subject. This is your, this is your career. Not because I'm going to make money out of Amos, but because actually, this is the thing that you're going to practice and get better at and get better at and get better at. And it's parenting Amos. And it's just being a parent generally. I think having Amos has made me a better parent for Elfwin. I think generally I'm more patient. Most days I'm more patient. But also just the time it takes for Amos to learn stuff. I've had to, I've just had to learn to take life at a different pace. But the more that we journey on that together, on that road together, the more I am becoming a better parent.
That's amazing. And
I'm able to help other people and just say, do you know what? This is really scary at the beginning because we don't know what to expect. But actually, let's just share information and let's share it with the professionals so the professionals aren't giving out of date information. And I just seriously though, we've got one of the highest termination rates in the world.
Well, okay, so I want to talk. I want to talk about that. That's okay. I want to talk about that. I think we're out of time for this episode. Would you be willing to stick around for another episode? Because I want to talk about we just did an episode where it was about Psalm 127.
Right.
Which you probably know. Children like blessing. Arrows, children of blessing, like arrows in the hands of a mighty warrior, all this kind of stuff. And then there was a recent court battle in England that ended sadly. And I want to talk to you about both those things, and not just in regard to Amos, but your experience walking through this, and even informing professionals who basically have wrong information. Can we talk about that in another episode? Would you be cool with that?
Of course I can.
Okay, so
that's fine.
So hey, this has been amazing. I mean, if you don't want to stick around for the next episode with Bess, then something's wrong with you, because I just had a fantastic time just getting to talk to Bess again. And Dave, has it been great meeting Bess?
Wow.
Let's do another episode with her.
Let's do.
Okay, so we're going to do episode 2. So thank you so much for joining us on the Nevcast. How we do it. We're sad that Rashi hasn't gotten to meet you. I know you would love to meet Rashi, but he actually has to. He's in training. He's at his new job right now that he had to leave for. Yeah, it's fantastic. But anyway, we will see you every Wednesday. Check us out and feel free to leave comments. If you have questions for Bess, we would love to hear them, and I'm sure she would love to respond to them because, as you can tell, she's very bright and she's also very cool. So anyway, next time on the Nevcast, we'll see you soon. That's it for the Nevcast this time. Join us next week when we talk justice, business, and art in pursuit of Jesus. We will see you soon.